Shakes are one of the easiest ways to add calories. And as a registered dietitian, I'm going to share some of my favorite tips with you on how to make a high calorie shake and one of my favorite recipes.
Welcome to the Geriatric Dietitian, your go-to resource for nutrition that supports health, independence, and confidence in aging. I'm your host, Katie Dodd, registered dietitian and geriatric nutrition expert. Let's dive in.
High calorie shakes are one of my favorite tools as a registered dietitian to help seniors get more calories, especially when they're struggling with poor appetite. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing for older adults and caregivers how to make high calorie shakes that you could start using today. Now, I want to give a little bit of background on why high calorie shakes, because I feel like in a world full of low calorie, you might be wondering, why on earth, Katie, are you telling people to have more calories? And some of the ingredients I'm going to share might be a little high in sugar, might be a little high in fat, but I want to tell you why, because it's important. As we age, we experience a loss of muscle mass. We call this sarcopenia. And this is a really big deal, you guys. When someone who's older starts losing weight unintentionally, they lose weight, but they also lose muscle. And because of sarcopenia, they have less muscle to start with. This leads to weakness, increased risk of falls, going to the hospital, loss of independence, and early death. Essentially, as an older adult, think about it. We get to retirement age and you're in your golden years. You want to have the best quality of life possible. Losing weight unintentionally, losing muscle mass can take away all of those big dreams. And that's why, as a geriatric dietitian, I'm so passionate about stopping unintended weight loss at any cost, because your health matters, your quality of life matters, and this is where high calorie shakes come in. So I actually have a handout. I'm going to share the link to it below. If you want to get this handout, you'll be getting on an email list actually from my sister website called high-calorie-recipes.com. But it's a nice freebie on how to make high calorie shakes. So I'm going to kind of walk you through the how to, and then at the bottom there's like a really amazing recipe that I'm going to share with you guys. Now, I don't have all the ingredients, but I have some of the ingredients, enough to start a really good conversation. So when it comes to a high calorie shake, we really need four things. We need to start with a liquid base. We need to add some tasty flavor. We need to top it off with high calorie add-ins, and then simply blend it until smooth. So you do need a blender. Any blender you have is fine. For me personally, let me see if I can lift it up. I'm a big fan of the Vitamix. Now, this is a little bit spindier of a blender, so if you don't have it, totally fine. Whatever blender you have on hand, you just might have to blend it a little bit longer to get what you're looking for. So when it comes to a liquid base, really it's whatever you like and whatever you have around, but I'm going to give you some tips on how to get the most calories. If you are looking for the most bang for your buck, you want to include foods that are highest in calories. So when you think of milk, there's lots of types of milk, right? We got our fat-free, we got our 1%, 2%, and whole milk. Now, what we typically have in my house is 2% milk. And so I'm going to encourage you guys to be reading the nutrition facts label to find out how many calories are in these products. We know that fat-free milk has the least amount of calories of all the milks, and whole milk has the highest amount. So when it comes to a high calorie shake, if you're using milk, make sure that it's whole milk, okay? It's going to have the most calories. Now, if you want to step it up a notch, you could also use half and half. Half and half is even higher in calories than whole milk, and buttermilk is another good option. So heavy whipping cream is another one that people will use to boost calories. It's typically higher in fat, but a great way to boost calories, and honestly, it tastes delicious. You can use pre-made nutrition drinks. So think of a Ensure or a Boost, just anything you could find that's already has a lot of calories. Or you could use a high-calorie milk substitute. Now, I pulled this out of my fridge because we happen to have some, and this is almond milk. Now, almond milk is wonderful. It's a dairy alternative for those of you who are like, okay, that's great, it's high in calories, but I don't do dairy. So almond milk, while I love it, it's very low in calories. So 1 cup of almond milk provides 30 calories. Of all of the plant-based milks, this tends to be the lowest in calories. So for someone who needs to gain weight, if they're using this, honestly, it's not much more than water, right? I guess 30 calories more than water. But there's other options that are higher in calories. The one that I tend to recommend, oat milk. Oat milk has about 100 calories per cup. So we're talking about a lot more calories. So you want to make sure you're starting with the liquid base. If you don't do dairy, I'd recommend oat milk. If you do dairy, then I would recommend a half and half or a whole milk. Now, next you need to add your tasty flavor. If you're drinking high calorie shakes for a while, drinking the same thing over and over again can get super boring. So this is where tasty flavors just make things funner. Now, chocolate syrup is a good classic, but you could also add caramel syrup. You could add strawberry syrup. Think of different fruits and jams and jellies you have already at home. You can throw that into your shake. Butterscotch syrup, hot chocolate or hot fudge sauce, hazelnut spread, so Nutella, or even honey. Anything that sweetens it up, gives it a little bit of flavor. So that's the flavor. Next, we need to top it off with high calorie add-ins. Now, I feel like this is obvious, but when I'm talking a shake, I'm talking about a milkshake. So one of the main ingredients is actually ice cream. Now, I mentioned reading labels, so I just happen to have one thing of ice cream in my house, and this is a good example because this is not a low-fat ice cream. Ice creams come in lots of different varieties. They have just regular, they have a low fat, they might even have like a sugar-free. We want to get the regular because we want as many calories as possible. Now, of course, you could always go read the nutrition facts and try to find the ice cream that has the most calories, because really our goal is in a high calorie shake, we want to maximize the amount of calories you're getting per volume. So if someone has a really poor appetite and they're like, oh, I just really can't consume a lot, we want to make sure that everything they're getting in their mouth is high in calories so they get the most bang for their buck. So let's talk about those high calorie add-ins. Now, of course, ice cream is what we're going to be adding, but other things you could add include peanut butter or other nut butters if you have a peanut allergy. So almond butter, honestly, there's like every nut has a butter these days, but peanut butter is a great way to add more calories. You can add coconut cream. That's pretty flavorful and tasty. You can add powdered milk or even a good protein powder to add in some more calories and nutrients. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is high in protein, and as long as you're not getting fat-free, high in calories. You could also add bananas. I mean, depending on the size of bananas, that's about 100 calories. And honestly, bananas just make a shake taste delicious. So those are the high calorie add-ins that you could include. And again, I'm just literally reading this from the handout that I have for you guys. So you add all that stuff to a blender, blend till smooth, and enjoy. Now, of course, I'm not telling you how much of each to add. I think the beautiful thing about a shake is you just, you add enough until it can blend. If you're like, it's not blending well, add more liquid. If you're like, this is too thin, add more ice cream. It's pretty simple. So hopefully it's figure outable. I will share, I should have brought it for you guys, but I have a cookbook that's available on Amazon. It's called High-Calorie Shakes. I'll add the video at the end. So if you want some specifics, I do have a cookbook that you can check out too. But I want to tell you about the recipe, the best high-calorie shake for seniors. And this one, I call it the King of Calories because holy cow, it has a ton of calories. The recipe I'm about to share with you guys, it contains 1,200 calories in one shake. So if you could imagine someone is an older adult, they can't eat, they're losing weight, they're losing muscle, they're becoming malnourished, they're at risk for going to the hospital, death, going to the nursing home. Like we want to stop that at all costs. So if they're not able to eat, we make them this one shake. Even if they get half of it, they're getting 600 calories. But if they're able to drink the whole thing, because honestly, it's delicious, because high calorie foods are delicious, then that's 1,200 calories and it's a game changer. Now, for most older adults, these high calorie recipes, they're meant to be a short-term bridge, right? We're trying to stop the loss. We're trying to get them back to a healthier state, and then we can get back to these, good, healthy, nutritious foods. And I'm just saying that because this recipe is high in fat, it's high in calories, it's high in sugar, and some people might be like, oh my gosh. But when we're looking at the difference between life and death for an older adult, have the ice cream, have the shake, let's get the calories in them, let's bridge this issue, then we can work on other stuff later. So the King of Calories. So it includes 6 ounces of half and half. 6 ounces of half and half. Now I don't have half and half on me, but we'll imagine this is half and half. 6 ounces, that's just under 1 cup. 1 cup of vanilla ice cream. I have chocolate, but we'll just pretend this is 1 cup of regular vanilla ice cream, not low fat, not low sugar. 4 tablespoons of chocolate syrup, so lots of this delicious syrup. 4 tablespoons of peanut butter, and 1 medium banana. You blend it up, it's delicious. Chocolate, peanut butter, banana, it is so tasty and high in calories. Now, I do want to mention that read the labels. I keep saying that because every product's a little different. I actually pulled out 2 peanut butters for you guys in my cupboards right now. I have Justin's peanut butter and Skippy peanut butter. And for the same amount, you guys, 2 tablespoons, Skippy provides 190 calories, where Justin's provides 210. So for the exact same volume of product, we're getting more calories in this one. So again, read your individual labels. Oh, another thing I actually brought out because I'm like, oh, this is a great high calorie food. Avocado. Avocados are actually delicious in smoothies and in shakes, and they provide so many calories and heart healthy fats. So if you're like, I don't want to add a ton of sugar, let's add some heart healthy fat. It's honestly delicious. And yeah, I love avocados. I love everything avocado. So I'm going to go grab my high calorie shakes cookbook, and I'll be right back because I want to share it with you guys. But I hope that this was enough to get you started with making high calorie shakes, to stop unintended weight loss, to promote weight gain, and to keep our seniors healthy. Okay, I'm back with editing. You didn't even miss me. So I went and grabbed this book that I sell on Amazon. Now I couldn't find the version that doesn't have the editor strip on it, but this is my high calorie shakes cookbook. I'm going to share what's inside of it, but this might be a product if you're like, wow, Katie, these sound really great. Of course, you could take with the information I gave you, but if you want like a real cookbook with good recipes, I want you to check this out. I'll put the link below. So it's full color, and inside it actually has like lots of different information. It's not just recipes. There's 25 high calorie recipes, but there's a lot of information. That's me. There's a lot of information in here for you guys. Information on why high calorie foods, different high calorie foods. So we're not just talking shakes, but other high calorie foods you could boost throughout the day. It actually includes the handout that you can get for free. And also the link to that is below. It has some tools of the trade if you're looking for some tools you need for making those shakes. It includes some of my, I call them my top secret tips. Yeah, that's what I called it, for making really good shakes. We do address non-dairy options. This is a milkshake book, so this does include dairy recipes. Every recipe is dairy, but if you are non-dairy, we have a whole page for you to show you here's how you can modify the recipes using non-dairy. And then we break down the recipes. There are, I believe, 25 recipes in here. I have them broken down into a few different series, and they're delicious. They're pretty basic and easy to use. And one thing I do want to mention is that these recipes, I've designed them to be a little bit thinner of a shake, because when something's thinner, someone can sip it with a straw a lot faster. And that really was my goal, is I want to make sure the older adults can consume this faster. So if you're like, this shake is too thin, less liquid, more ice cream, you could just, again, play with the numbers, but they are designed to be thinner. So how each page looks is it has the name of the recipe, it has the ingredients, the instructions, and the calorie count, plus the amount of protein. Now, I don't include the whole nutrition facts because here we just want to know, we want to know protein and calories. That's really the two biggies that we're looking at. But there's lots of them. Like I've got a banana shake recipe here. Let me see. I've got a butterscotch recipe. This is one of the first products that I made when I started my brand, Dietitian Side Hustle. When I started my brand, The Geriatric Dietitian. I'm also a podcaster at Dietitian Side Hustle. But when I started this brand, when I started my blog, The Geriatric Dietitian, I would have people reach out to me and say, hey, do you have any shake recipes? Grandma's losing weight. I had multiple people reach out, and I was like, well, I don't right now, but I can. So I actually came up with this cookbook. I came up with all the ideas for shakes. I put them on little cards. I laid them all out on my office floor, went to the store, bought all the ingredients, and me and my kids made all of the shakes in one day and took the pictures. Now, one thing I will share is I am not a professional food photographer, but I'm also an advocate of done is better than perfect. So these are the actual shakes that I made with my kids, and they're delicious. I've had lots of great feedback from people who are using this cookbook in assisted living facilities and nursing homes, even private individuals who are buying it. So I know the shakes are delicious because I've drinking them all myself and because I've gotten great feedback. I wanted to mention this. I have the avocado shake in here. I mentioned how avocado is like delicious. This was actually one of my kids' favorite shake. They're like not expecting like avocado in a milkshake, but it's really good. So anyways, pina colada, mint chocolate chip. There's just so many different recipes and ideas. And the other thing is at the back of this book, I actually have my weight gaining secrets as a bonus. This is an ebook that I also sell separately, but it just has tons of tips, education, and information on how to gain weight. I mean, gosh, there's lots of stuff in here. There's like a grocery list, there's a meal planner. So anyways, shout out for this book. So that's what I have for you guys today. I hope that this was helpful to give you ideas for the best high-calorie shakes for seniors. High-calorie shakes are a wonderful way to add more calories, stop unintended weight loss, promote weight gain, and maintain independence in seniors. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to click wherever it is on the subscribe button. And also, if you turn on the notifications, it'll let you know when I post my next video. So thanks so much for being here at the channel, and I hope this was so helpful for you guys.